GM, wake up, let's go. Web 2, Web 3, stay in the know. Action, Dabatola, Toki in the zone. Breaking down the latest, straight to your phone. From Web 2 shifts to Web the waves. News, deep dives, hot takes for days. Tech's evolving, the world's in spin. Markets move, let's lock it in. Genzio's here, no time to snooze. Tune in now, get the news. GM, wake up, let's go. Web 2, Web 3, stay in the know. GM, start the show. GM, wake up, let's go. Web 2, stay in the know. GM, start the show. GM, let's go. Web 2, stay in the know. GM, start the show.
GM, what is going on, everyone? Good morning, and welcome to another episode of our stream of GM Live. Today, we got a lot to talk about in the news. We're expecting, at least I'm expecting, a little bit of an upward trend with Bitcoin, but we can get into that. I think there's some key signals there that we'll be going over, indicating some market movement. And then it seems to be a common theme, at least between what Toki and I talk about what's going on with China, the United States, rare earth minerals, and the Call of Duty video game playing out in real time here. And we'll jump into that. But as always, we got the Genzio crew right here in the house. My man Toki and Action. What's going on, GM, everyone? What are you guys doing? How you feeling today?
GM, I'm doing good. Having a great day. Glad to be here. It's been up and down, just like the markets.
Oh boy. I thought you were gonna go with bare naked ladies or something. It's been 1 week. No, it's good, especially when y'all smash that like button for the algo and make sure you're sharing the stream out with other people. That's what I got.
Yes.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is on Dabatola's channel.
Yeah,
Whichever direction he's in.
It's on my YouTube channel. So for all those that prefer YouTube, go in there, smash that like, chat, ask some questions, drop some comments, and we'll be sure to address it. But yeah, this morning, we're here on a Tuesday. I thought for a second last night we see Bitcoin creeping up on that 87 mark, and we're floating around a very key indicator here. I think it's between the 85 and 87 range that if we break out, we could see some action and we could see this trend up to about 100K. And there's definitely some articles. Now, if we get to that 100K, we could see another leg up, maybe push to all-time highs. We do have enough time to see this before we get into the summer, which personally I think might get a little, I don't know, a little bit choppy, but I'm hoping for that. Now, the big curveball, big variable in my mind, obviously, is the president and what comes out of his mouth, whether it's tariffs, this war, the whatever. Just, you never know. Like, we could turn on the news in a second. He could say something completely crazy and just the markets reverse or do something. And some will call that manipulation for friends. Others will call that just him not caring, and it just happens. Regardless of what it is, it causes volatility, and that could be the factor that prevents us really from following this trend possibly and going towards 100K. So I don't know what you guys think. Do you think that any big statements by our president here could change the trajectory of the markets or Bitcoin one way or the other, as we've seen?
You
Will it
referring
continue?
to comment like now is a good time to buy?
Rough.
So, oh man, that's tough. You know, IDCA in. Fair enough. No. IDCA in, and if this hits 87, if we get to back up to that 86.5, 87, then I think we're gonna go into the 90s and higher. And then in that regard, sure, you know, if you bought, it goes up, it'll go up from there. I could see it taking a leg back down as well. And I keep my eyes and ears more on now the news and what's being said and what's going on, because I feel that really is, you know, people are ready to buy. I feel people are ready to buy. I feel markets are ready to move, but everyone's on the edge of their seat because they're not sure what's going to happen, or, you know, what Toki's looking at me like, huh? Or what?
Are you ready to buy? And if so, what? Because I don't feel ready to buy much of anything
Altcoins
right now. But like, dude,
I've been buying, dude. I'm literally broke right now because I've bought so much stuff.
exactly. I already bought the dip. What am I looking forward to buying right now? Like, it's now I'm
looking
just watching
forward
it
to
go
buying.
choppy
No.
across the
No,
board
it is-
for a
it
little
is
bit, and then
choppy,
hope
but I
it'll go
mean-
back up.
No, I think we're, you know, obviously long term, I think we're going to go back up. But yes, it is choppy, and some of these alts are still at deals. So if you do want to accumulate DCA in, and honestly, DCAing in for me isn't necessarily just on, you know, on huge pullbacks of 10, 20, 30%. I often DCA in time as well, just depending on money. And I do look for red days or days that it's dropped back. But
Does often
yeah.
just do $1 at a time as well, just so you guys know, just $1 cost average.
Oh,
It's not unheard of.
Okay.
$1 a day.
Dollar cost
If you
average.
did
on
$1 a
DCA
day into Bitcoin since it started,
Since it started,
Started?
come on.
I'm just saying, there's some other coins you could do that with, like SWE. If you did that since it started, man,
what
you'd
is
be.
we sitting at 215? That's a little red in the charts, but
It was up to over $5 for a hot second. Like, if you did that for
yeah.
Solana, another banger. Just saying, $1 a day for DCA ain't that bad. Just choose one, have some fun. It's not like the perfect system, but like, just go for it.
I'm sorry. No, I'm.
No? Not you?
I don't know, dude.
You wouldn't? Okay, tell me how many coins you would not do that for.
$1 a day?
Literally $1, bro. If you're buying some, like, depending on what you're buying, like, fees are worse than $1. Like, that's the
Action's going
problem
to
I
get
have
into
with
the
all this.
technicalities of this stuff.
No,
What if-
not
okay.
technicalities. Like,
all right. You know what? You're I can't even do it with you.
Oh
because you're a
yes,
minor.
my gas today was $1.50. I only want $1 of this, so I will not buy. Who cares, man?
See, action. I was
how do we
going to
just
use
get
an
racist all of a
example.
sudden? Wait, what happened? Well,
I was going to use an example like Casper or something back when it first launched, $1 a day when it was, you know, a fraction of a penny, and now it's at probably like 7 cents. I don't know where some 7.5 cents or something. Then yeah, $1 a day could have made you some money in that. But I'm sure Action's like already a step ahead, thinking like, I wouldn't do $1 a day. I would just have one of my machines mine it and blah 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 and whatever else. But for the rest of us, you know, that could be an example of a token that was like a fraction of a penny, and then is now 7 cents and had a high of somewhere in the low 20s, I believe, or close to 20.
all right. You know,
been a
I'm gonna make
banger.
sure I say something to remind people of what I actually think here. Remember that $1 a day keeps your dreams of a yacht at bay.
It could keep it in the bay. You might not be able to get it far out, like take it around. But if you could at least have it docked, we've been to plenty of yacht parties where they didn't
They've
go
been
out.
docked.
They were just,
That's
they were
true.
just docked.
Did
Paying
we?
that extra
We
money.
did?
Yes, even
No.
Did you
went
buy
to the
last
wrong-
year?
You went to the wrong yacht, bro. All of my yachts went out.
no, you didn't. You were
Wow.
on the yacht. You were on the big yacht.
Which one? The one
DNA?
that. No, I didn't go. I was like,
Yeah, you
that's no.
Was it even the DNA one?
No.
There was like 3 yachts on that one pier, and everyone was just, anyways, regardless, I'm gonna have to look back. So Action went out on a dinghy and out in Dubai. He was out on a paddleboard with 3 other people on the same board as they talked about Bitcoin. And the rest of us were on real yachts that didn't want to pay the full amount. And they just sat there and everyone hung out and partied.
No, I definitely went out to like spend time with people that other people didn't care for. So I went out with Mind Your Biz on the OKX yacht, which was very
I want to make
fun.
a joke here.
It was great, actually. They were like, we need more influencers. And like, you know, Seth was like, bro, nobody wants to come with me. He was like, dude, nobody wants to go, then I'm going. That's exactly where I want to be. Like, that's my spot. Like, if somebody doesn't want to go somewhere, that's where I want to go. So, like, I don't know. I made a lot of money off of that yacht. That's all I'm going to say. Because nobody else was there.
That's where the deals get done.
Was it you, Action? Somebody I remember lost a shoe. One of the events. Okay, just checking. Sorry.
Dude, like, what do you think I'm doing at these places? Like, I think I'm like stumbling around and whatnot.
I mean, you'd still have a meeting in one shoe. You take scooters.
He's not like Ken Anderson. He's not swimming out to his hotel in Dubai. He was more just like, Action's more like, no. I'm going to that place. I can walk there.
We are not talking about anything to do with rain or water and Dubai. We are having an amazing trip coming up. So
we had an amazing trip. The floods didn't stop me at all.
You brought up the yachts in the first place.
What
yeah,
yachts?
that's true.
I'm talking about yacht parties. That's totally different than flooding. But it's different than flooding. They're meant to be there.
I didn't talk about flooding. You just brought up flooding.
Yeah, let's not talk about flooding. See, you're talking about it again. See, look what's going on. Action. Look at your boys doing.
Look at your boy. Look at your boy. Manage your boy, you man.
Get your boy out of here. No, we're gonna have an amazing time. We got a lot going on there as well. You know what's going to be interesting? Because I've been seeing a lot of bullish tweets regarding the markets, actually, just recently about how, hey, we could be seeing this 100K by the end of the month or high 90s, and we could have this explosive growth. I think there's one big problem with that. We all know that during a lot of these conferences over the last few years, the markets don't tend to just go parabolic or go nuts. At least half of them, they go down. And the last week of this month is nothing but conferences. So is everybody just going to be hanging out in Dubai and our market's going to just...
Beyond that,
you know?
And again, this is a topic that we've been sadly having to harp on continuously.
More and more. China's going to print money. It's fine.
Yeah, China's going to print money for themselves, but they're also placing more and more bans on rare earth minerals coming out of their refineries, which is one of the biggest issues that we have right now, is that if the U.S. wants to continue to be competitive and continue to have, honestly, different opportunities here in the United States as far as factories, just the whole entire nine with semiconductors and more, we need to have access to these refined materials. The biggest issue is we can have raw materials out the wazoo, but China has the largest amount of refineries, and they have the best refineries so far.
So they suspended rare earth minerals and magnets. Sorry, just random, and magnets to the U.S. and around the world. But this is what's even more interesting to me: drafting new regulatory approach to minerals to prevent them from even reaching American companies. So it's sort of what we try to do when we put sanctions on, say, like Russia, and then we try to, often they skirt the sanctions by going to, skirt the sanctions by going through other countries and doing different things. And really now China's looking at trying to, in reverse, take that step out. Like, hey, not only are we not going to do it, but let's prevent all paths to the United States and put a lockdown. And then, obviously to follow that up, we could go back to, pull my screen back up here. The U.S. relies heavily on rare earth. Are you looking at this on the please tell me you're laughing down here.
Dude, It's definitely the Robin Hood Trump.
Well, the U.S. relies heavily on rare earth.
Just zoom in so we
imports
don't
from
have
China.
to.
Oh no!
Zoom, no,
It's-
zoom in.
It
Zoom
left. It changed.
Yeah, I'm sure you found something else. Zoom in a
Zoom-
little bit for us.
Zoom in so when it goes back. Is that what you're saying?
What is happening right now?
No, he was laughing at on the side of the
I
page.
saw it, and then you clicked on something, and then there's a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
No,
I was
no.
thinking, what is happening?
It rotates the image. That's why I said I can't get
Yeah,
back to it. And then you
sure
said
rotated
zoom
them
in.
pretty quickly to,
And
to
then it
one
zoomed-
with girls.
And then it zoomed into this. Anyway, so
Yo,
This
who's
is-
Danny Boy?
let's go back out. See, here's a new one.
I don't know.
You just wanna
Real
wait?
quick.
We'll come back.
Because we got people listening in. Like, who's Danny Boy?
Who's Bill Gates?
I mean, we just want to make sure y'all know we do watch all your questions. Like, we want to know what Toki shirt. I think it's Cookie Monster, right? Yeah, it's
No.
Cookie Monster eating a Bitcoin. That's what it
Bitcoin
is.
monster.
Shout out Saucy Deepins. Thanks, buddy.
Saucy's awesome. Yeah, so we do read these. Perkle, you got it. This is your subscribers, Scott. By the way, just know that this is your
Nice, look
people.
at that.
Some of these
What
people
up,
like
peoples? Oh, wait, hold on a second. You can share the screen. We have a new picture that just came in of Trump. Here we go. Bend the knee for Trump. So if we leave this here long enough, we will have just rotations of random Trump AI photos. I guess apparently girls and maybe some news.
you.
Maybe. But this is on the rare earth mineral page about an article about the U.S. relying so much on that.
Guess
So-
what? Little
Actions
little
like
new.
don't matter.
No, it does matter. It does matter. I mean, obviously, we want to have a party in the flood so that we can go with the flow. But get that. Okay. Anyway, today- no, we're gonna
Oh,
have
that
to
was
cut
without a
this
paddle.
stream short by probably 2 minutes or so today because we do have a stream coming up right afterwards, giving everybody a heads up as far as logistics are concerned.
You said 2 minutes, but it's actually probably gonna be closer to like 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, I'm
early.
gonna drop off at 15 minutes to
Okay.
the top of the hour.
I'm gonna
'cause I wanna
rug
make
you
sure
right
everybody's
now.
okay. All right, guys, that was great. I rugged Zach yesterday, so it's okay. No,
Sure
don't worry.
did.
Yeah, just want to give housekeeping items, make sure everybody knows what's going on. So we're gonna get all this info that you guys need to know about in the next 25 minutes, and then I'll leave, and these guys are gonna trash talk about me behind my back, and it's gonna be a great time.
Okay.
So what do you got for us, Scott? I'm about to share your screen. There you go.
So this is some tweets, or links actually that Toki sent over because we are going back and forth about our minerals and about our trade war and whatnot. And I didn't realize this one, but it said China ordered its airlines to halt
But
any further deliveries of Boeing jets as the trade war escalates. Now there's going to be you're going to say, but isn't Boeing based out of Washington? Right?
here's the kicker though. China was making our Boeings.
China. See,
China was making our Boeings,
no,
and
this
yet
is,
we're saying
This
that
is a
all the
win.
recent issues.
This is a win.
this
Yeah, I
is-
was like, this is a win. I'm happy here. Are you
No,
telling me that we're finally going to start making Boeings in America again? Because have you seen the condition of our FAA and everything that's going on?
well,
And the Boeing planes that are literally, like, look at the first comment. The first comment. This is just perfection how you zoomed in on this. Were they,
no.
like, bro, literally.
Look.
Their doors are flying off. They're falling out of the sky. They
Look,
can't.
wait,
The sensors
hold
aren't
on a
working
second.
as far as
we're
the
generalizing this a little
Mm.
bit because
No, we're
we
not
don't-
generalizing
we
anything.
don't know. Some
Nope.
of these planes
Mm.
are not.
We're
just like a
helping
couple years old.
America. This is America first at its finest.
Yeah.
We are not using jets that fall out of the sky from China.
I'm not
Whether or not this is real
disagreeing with
news,
you
we
with-
can't confirm, but we're gonna go with it for right now. For the narrative,
Put the
the
code on.
betterment.
Put the code on right now. You cannot preach
Yeah, where
this
is it?
without the code. All right. While he gets the code, I was going to say a lot of Boeing work because I know somebody is out of the Northwest And I do believe that parts and lots of stuff come from out of the country, but I do find it surprising that a lot.
I do believe, sir, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're just wrong. And that's fine that you don't know what you're talking about right now, because it's America first right now. And the biggest thing that we could do is truly just dial it in here. Dial it in for all of us. America first. You don't get it. If these jets have been flying out of the sky, falling out of the sky from China, why would we want them? Why do we want more of them? Let them keep them. That's fine. Make them here. Make them better. Get better. That's what we need. We've always needed Boeing to get better.
What did you do? What just happened? You just kill everybody?
No, I wanted to focus it just on him for the last part of his speech.
Okay, there's a little button that says solo layout. That's a button you want to click if you want to do that, by the way.
Hey, by the way, all the stuff on the left has not been programmed for today.
No, it's a hot mess. That's why I'm doing it on the fly, trying to like leverage when we have things up.
That's what happens here on the fly. Let's bring up my thing here for the last one about gold and China, since we're talking so much about China. It says it bought 5 tons of gold in February, and Goldman Sachs actually says it was 50. Yeah. That's a nice 10x. They're trying to hide, to try to downplay.
Do you know why they need it?
Why do they?
Because there's nothing in Fort Knox.
Have you seen how much gold that they've pulled out of the United States?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It is now reaching like almost unsurmountable levels. We've never had this much gold exiting the United States at such a fast rate. It's insane because China's collecting all of their gold that they've had in the US. They're basically emptying out vaults and being like, yeah, we're going to need that back now, because they don't want to have money in the US. They don't, like, if this is going to be a full-on trade war, they're going to make sure that they have everything that they need set aside. They don't want the US to be able to be like, it's in the US, it's ours now. Because there's already been talks about whether or not the United States is willing to stop selling land to Chinese nationals. And Trump has talked about this before. And even recently, there was a Chinese billionaire who bought I think it was like 26,000 acres in Hawaii, and is now, like, that's his own personal land now. I think he's using it as a nature reserve, but even still, like,
did he paint the roof blue? That's what I need to know.
I mean, of the White House?
No, in Hawaii. Remember that house?
Yeah.
I was trying to turn this into a conspiracy theory here, because that's what you sound like right now, Toki.
I wish. I'm here for it.
Well, I can tell you who's happy about this. IKEA, because furniture is one of the main China exports.
Who exports their the cafeteria food there? The Swedish meatballs.
Say what they are again?
I don't know. Their little dish that they have that's famous at their cafeteria.
Right.
I'm not saying anything.
What are they?
Clipping this.
What are they?
It's edible food, barely edible.
No, you said Swedish meatballs. Where do you think they come from?
No, that doesn't mean they come from there. That doesn't.
You think Chinese food comes from China?
No, it actually comes from a next door neighbor.
See?
It depends. If you're in China, it comes from China.
I don't know, man. There's a Chinese restaurant that's not run by people from anywhere in Asia, actually. They're all from South America. But it's really good Chinese food, so like,
I mean,
what are you gonna do?
Chinese food in Singapore is pretty banging.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's pretty good.
All right.
So what do you got for us, Scott?
Scott, you're in charge.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What else here? See, I'm like, half of my stuff is like, I almost like say like doom and gloom type of stuff, which is not very fair or nice. But let's see if we could do this. So I noticed this, and this is from yesterday, but Goldman Sachs CEO warned of basically a big recession risk. And this is, I think, just really kind of attributes to what we've been talking about with tariffs, right? and the uncertainty with that. And if this trade war and things start escalating, then we could be put in an extremely bad position, because especially on the short term where we feel it. And short term, we want to say, like, people think short term is reaction to news, like something comes out and markets move right now. Sure, that's short term. But big changes or things that are done usually are felt in the market like a month or two later. Like, really, it takes some time to draw out. So this could
If they ever actually happen.
Yeah. If it was to happen and things escalate, this could be lining up where we start going into a summer with a high risk of recession. Now,
when I met you in the summer,
I do believe, I believe, I really do. And I'm also very hopeful that the fall will really be our time. And we've been saying that for like the whole past year. Like, we're expecting markets to rip. We're like, oh, it's 2025. Oh, it's going to be by the end of 2025. So let's really hope so. I don't know what you guys are feeling about how overall markets or economy here are going. Like, do you see that recession is a big risk, or do you think that we're going to come out ahead?
We're essentially in one without being in one, to the nicest way possible. It's like, just because
so it depends on who you ask, right?
No, just because Biden's administration changed the definition doesn't stop the fact that everyone else acknowledges that we're in a recession.
Let's take the technicality of definitions and all that aside, right?
But that's literally what you base everything on for life, is the definitions of things. So
revert the definition. Like,
then we're in a recession. There's no risk of it.
Okay, perfect. Then we're in a recession. I'm just saying, based off of, we're not 18 years old. We've been through a couple decades or several decades here of the economy, different presidents, stuff like that. So let's not go. You're older than Toki, and he's nodding that yes, this is accurate. That we've been around a couple decades. Yeah. And how much time you're on this earth, and you're like, yep, I fit that category of what you're saying. So anyways, I think that
I know y'all weren't expecting this, but welcome to the party.
So what we know through our lifetime for the economy getting to a certain point that we would consider it a recession or getting towards a recession, you would say, Toki, that we're basically in a recession right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you on that, because you have people living on credit card debt and just inflation's still out of control.
60% of the people that went to Coachella had to finance their tickets.
Did you? You know what? I saw random interviews of people for Coachella.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what they were asking? Someone was going around. I think it was on TikTok or Instagram. They're like, "Oh, how much have you spent so far in Coachella?" It was like the first day or second day so far, and the person like, "Oh, like 800." And then the thing was like, do you think the person after you spent more or less than you? And they're like, oh, more. And then they were doing this whole thing, and like, next person spent 1,000. I'm like, who the hell is going out and spending $1,000 on top of already spending probably like $300 to $600 on a ticket?
Did you guys see EDC last year?
I get beers could be $50 a beer probably, but I mean, like,
so EDC last year had their own hotel, which was supposed to help with your pricing. So they had their EDC hotel, the bus that traveled out to them and everything. And my buddy went and he paid for it.
Bus.
Well, at the beginning, bottles of water were starting out at $10. And that's just regular.
That's pretty affordable in comparison to the rest of the crap.
But as soon as those are out, it goes up to $20 a bottle. As soon as those are out, it goes up to $30.
And you know how they stagger those? It's like we have 1,000 bottles of water, then we have 2,000 bottles of water, then we got 200,000 bottles of water at the top tier price. You know what I mean?
It is kind of ridiculous in that aspect, because you're thinking like, what is going on here?
That's
it. You're looking at the food prices, and you remember what food was like at Eat Denver?
Yeah.
Double it, triple it, quadruple it right from the start.
You know what we're doing?
If you think that you paid $25 for chicken tenders that you could have gotten from Walmart for $5, congratulations. You now just paid $150 for chicken tenders you could have gotten from Walmart for $5.
We're gonna go this year, and we're gonna bring a water atmosphere generator the little machine,
That would be
and
dope.
we're just gonna pull. It's gonna be disgusting. Well, it'll filter it because I was gonna say the amount of sweat in that air is probably disgusting. But we're gonna pull the humidity out of the air and filter it, and we're just gonna sell bottles of water refilled for like $2.
Do you know
just
how
gonna-
dry it is in Denver? I don't know how much humidity you're gonna get, man.
Not
Not
Denver.
Denver. It's in Vegas. It's still
Not
dry in Vegas.
Vegas.
It's outside of Vegas, technically.
I'm
Technically,
asking.
yes, that is true. You're not wrong.
It's like an hour, right? Hour and a half. I don't know the
Yeah,
exact.
roughly.
You know, for EDC, Coachella is in India, but yeah, that's the actual town in Coachella.
I'm literally
Valley.
looking at places in India right now after Coachella.
So
just
what
so I
I'm
can have
saying-
a little like couple days
No.
off in the heat.
That was ridiculous. And most of the thing is that even though you see a lot of people at Coachella, like a who's who or whatever, all the influencers, celebrities type of thing, just because outside of the performers, really what that comes to is they just go and they get a few photos on with social media, and then everyone leaves and just hangs out in Palm Springs, pretty much.
Depends. If you like music, you chill.
If you're a normal like ticket buyer, you're probably hanging out more in there.
No,
But
like
most
they're
of the people
bands.
are partying in Palm Springs and stuff. I've
Yeah,
gone
but
out so many times.
But I'm saying like bands, like the bands that care about the music, they tend to stick around. Like,
When they can afford
They have to because they play 2 weekends in a row.
when
Yeah,
they can
well-
afford to. Some of
And
those bands have already spoken out. They cannot afford to stick around the whole entire time.
oh yeah,
They literally go in for the weekend, play their set, and then leave, and then come back because it's more cost effective to do that than to stay there.
well,
Because
wait a minute.
the pricing
they
of
get-
everything gets.
Wait, I want to
No,
throw a
but they-
curveball in the mix here with all this. Do we know of any of these music festivals that are accepting crypto?
Some festivals have like weird NFT stuff that's associated, so you can already get your tickets.
See, This is so.
Like,
I'm
I'm
gonna have to
not
ask
kidding.
a buddy of mine. So there's a buddy of mine. His name's Gary. Goes by DJ Destructo.
oh, you said
Destructo.
Gary.
Anyways, he does an event called Friendship, which is like a cruise out of Florida for 5 days, and they, stop on an island and do a private party there and all that stuff. But the thing is, he's really big into crypto. He actually DJ'd for us at Flux's event at Cypherpunk. We've flown him out, but he's really big into crypto. Big holder. He's got some good bags of some stuff early on. Very keen to it, but I'm surprised that I haven't seen him accepting, because even when I talked to him after the fact, he's like, oh man, if you wanted to send me like ETH or anything else, like I would have taken booking fees in crypto, even though the agency doesn't advertise that per contract. So it's out there, and there are performers like that. I'm just wondering if now it's going to move into like actually the festival. Now, I guess the loophole technically is, let's say the new MetaMask card that's coming out, you have one of those, or you have the Ultimo card or whatever that Action has, or a Crypto.com or a Coinbase card. I'm assuming that's an indirect
have
way of
anything.
using crypto.
I don't have that. I don't know.
Okay, Action doesn't have anything. He just has the code to sign up. If you go to the site, his code is /action. Put it in there and get a discount, whatever. Yeah.
I love that you just did a commercial for Action, and like
No, I
the host
did.
just like
I did it. I did it.
like,
I'm
yeah,
like,
you guys can do
"Eh."
this if you want to. If you want some.
If you want to, you could use this code for now. Hopefully, I'll get a code soon, and then on
Yeah, you know how you
Tuesdays
get
and
a
Thursdays,
code?
I'll
You need to
promote
get
mine.
the card. Get the card
I
and you get
know.
the code.
I know.
You get the.
I have
so
a couple
you-
cards. Wait. I have a couple.
Wait a
cards
minute, wait a
because
minute,
I have
wait a
an-
minute.
I have an
Action-
XTX
Shut
card.
up. No,
Rico
no, I
Moneybag,
have a
shout
direct
out to the man.
connection to the owner of the organization.
I
don't
met him
have-
in Nashville.
I don't have to have the card.
Toki, you
I
met
might.
him.
I
Toki, you
might,
met him.
but who knows?
We've all met him because of Action.
Who?
The owner, right? Action in Nashville. I think it was the last time.
Was
Good
that the
guy.
last time we saw him?
Last time I saw him.
That's not the last time we saw him.
Singapore? I didn't see him in Singapore, but I would think that he would be in Singapore.
Did I see him? I don't know if he was in Singapore.
Regardless,
Good question.
there's a bunch of different cards and whatnot. So I guess that's a way of using crypto to buy a festival ticket. But I'm just wondering when the time comes where it's being promoted as a payment option,
But that's not
And
really crypto, bro. That's like a third party way of getting.
that is with the card, I'm saying, but I'm waiting to see if festivals, especially the ones where I know people who are very big advocates for crypto, start
I will put it
changing
to
the
you this
payment
way.
ways, or at least the benefits. Like
You will
if you're
not
a
see
holder,
it. You won't see it.
you don't think so?
Because that's
What,
the
just
way that it
tax?
should be. No, because
Well,
the
oh, you're right.
adoption should be seamless.
Yeah, just use
That's
a card
that's the
then, and then have this
easiest
in the
way.
background.
God.
Look at this.
If
Okay, let Papa Bear action here.
Yeah, we'll
Papa
see what
Bear
happens.
crypto. How should this be
Okay,
done?
so don't like you can't say that like it needs to be seamless. Like, sure, but you need to change the ways of working as well. Like, I hate when people say, "Well, people won't even know it's crypto." Yeah, basically, what you're doing is encouraging credit card companies to make more money off of their users, and that's not crypto. That's not the way this should operate. Like, people keep saying that, like, "Oh yeah, this
I
is
didn't
crypto
say that.
adoption," because
I
you
didn't say
literally
credit card
said
companies.
you literally just said that it should be seamless. They won't
It should
even
be
know. No,
seamless.
they
I could
will
rub
know.
them.
They shouldn't
They will
understand.
know. They will know. They will know. And it's adoption wise. If you're really adopting crypto, yes, you would know that it's crypto. Like, it's not just a matter of like, I'm using a credit card to do this transaction. You're still funding somebody else. You're still funding the credit card companies, and those people are making money hand over fist on top of you just because you want to use crypto, and it's not really crypto. Like,
Okay,
that's
so
what I'm saying.
here's one then. Like, do we even need necessarily crypto at all as far as the end user payment, or you just use cards, everything just goes and then it just works? Is that what you want? Right? Just
No,
behind
I
the
want
scenes,
people to actually use. I want people to actually use wallets. We need a new way of operating here. That's the problem. NFC
wallets
has
is
been out.
definitely a huge hurdle for adoption and everything, because seed phrases and all this other stuff like that, it puts it like, I mean, look, we even get paranoid about our wallets and stuff going on, and
You
this
get
is what we do
paranoid.
every day.
You get paranoid.
Look, you have seed phrases and all
I
different
just
things
don't
like
have
that.
enough. I don't have enough money to care that much.
All right, so but your normal person, regardless of how much money they have, $5 grand, $1,000, whatever, if they're using it as a place to store, money or value or anything, having that piece of paper with your seed, like
You don't need a piece of paper. You just go to Voltisig and you make sure that you're setting it up the right way so you don't have a seed phrase.
that is one way, and there's
And they
more
are such
ways.
a nice team. If you want help setting it up, they're actually more than willing to help you go through the process of making sure that your new wallet and signature and everything is good to
So
go.
things
And
like
part of
that
their
needs to.
process is ensuring that you don't actually need to worry about your seed phrases anymore. In fact, maybe you
We
should all
need
take
more
the
of
time
that.
to check out Voltisig.
We definitely need more of that, because that is a hurdle. That's a huge hurdle as well as the wallets. And
Wallets have
This
always been
stream
a hurdle.
sponsored by Voltisig. Make sure you're checking their website out at Voltisig. I did that. Yeah, sorry.
I do agree, though. Wallets have and always will be one of the biggest hurdles. Because there's so many of them, and there's a lot of people that don't understand seed phrases. And I can go to a company right now that'll basically get into any wallet.
Yeah. What's a Voltisig?
What's a Voltisig?
I mean, that's the question.
Voltisig itself is a company. Action, you'd probably be able to bring that up pretty quickly on your screen.
oh, look at this! My headset just got here for Dubai. I just got a notification.
Well, congratulations! I just got more RAM this morning, but we're talking about Voltisig right now.
And we're going to be talking about them a lot, I think, in Dubai, aren't we? On our stream.
What?
Karate Combat. What? That's if they want.
That is true. That is true.
Here, I'm gonna share screen. I gotta get my screen up here. Here's the Voltisig.
Mine's a downer screen right there. Recession risk.
Wait, where is that tab?
Every time Action tries to pull up a screen, I'm just going to go back to us.
It was working and then it wasn't.
This looks
I'm not
terrible. I'm gonna remove you. I'm gonna add mine right there. That's better.
Why was that so weird?
I don't know. Yeah, it's because Scott used the wrong layout. More RAM.
Action always blaming others. It's all right, Action. We got the site up here. Walk us through this and let's answer that question. What's Voltisig?
VultiSig is an organization who decided to do wallets differently. Instead of having a seed phrase to secure your wallets, you can actually have trusted parties to be able to unlock things. Very similarly to what you see happening with the what's that thing again with Hedera and come on, help me out here. Oh, my mind is so blank right now.
Hashpack?
No, not hashback. It's okay. It'll come back to me. The alliance that they have with
with Cardano and
Algorand.
oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, so you get multiple trusted parties here, and what happens is that you have to basically confirm things with other parties. That's
DREC Alliance,
the Rec Alliance. You got it.
Decentralized Recovery Alliance, includes Cardano and Hedera.
That's it. Yeah. So essentially, instead of having just one seed phrase, you get to, and this is more than just that, but you get to actually secure a wallet by having different parties kind of confirm things. So you have multiple devices, right? So if you want to sign a transaction, you can actually say, oh, here's one transaction. I need to verify it on another device. You can also basically give your wallet key out. And it doesn't matter because you need that multi-sig to actually get things through. But it's not painful like a multi-signature wallet. It's pretty straightforward. Not only that, they're adding AI to this thing, which makes it really, really valuable so that it can
It's like an AI app store basically built in, right?
I think that's the big thing that's gonna like kind of take over. It's because it's gonna allow developers to actually come out and say, all right, we're gonna go ahead and implement an AI trader for you. You can limit how much money you can actually have access to. Let's say it's only $10, and you can actually do permissions on chain, which has never been done before. It's something that we desperately need if we want to get to the next level. But yeah, the Rec Alliance.
That's it. Yeah.
And tomorrow, actually, tomorrow evening, I think it's 8 Central, we're going to be having a space with them. So if you want the full info, deep dive, you want to ask some questions.
Did Toki put me on that space, even though I said that Wednesday evenings are bad for me?
Well, regardless if you're there or not, Toki and I will hold it down. There's lots of people that are going to want to know some info. You could come in, ask questions, and I think you'll really be surprised. One thing from the last space that I got out of it that was really cool was that kind of marketplace, or I'll call it like an app store, but a marketplace essentially for these AI agents that could help, whether it's DCAing or do all sorts of things and do it in a secure way, with checks and balances put in place, and really makes your wallet do the work, and you kind of just tell it what you need, and all that coming. It sounded awesome. So I can't wait to hear what else we didn't even get to tomorrow. So
there's a ton, dude. There's a ton.
So it's going to be great to have that space again in action. You should be showing up regardless, because you don't want to fall too far behind and not know the alpha. So
that was a very interesting tactics right there. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, tactic, which reminds me, did you see a tweet from Tactical, and which also ties to Jake, which ties to several other people? I am just going to put the warning out there. If you are doing business in the space, or you are in the space and people know that you're doing crypto or whatever, Zoom meetings, I avoid it. I won't take a Zoom meeting, especially now. I'm not taking any Zoom meetings after this at all. But
that was user error on his part.
No, there's some settings in there, but a lot of people don't necessarily have their own Zoom account, and they get sent a link and they go in from a guest and whatever, and you wouldn't have necessarily controls on some of that. Now the pop-up,
he downloaded an extension.
Well, the pop-up came up to approve the remote part. And then, I went through the tweets, but there's all sorts of stuff where, just like we heard, what was it, a week or two ago with sites with Cloudflare, they're making it so that if you click the check off, it actually would download, something that would get your seed phrases or, malware. And they were being put right on sites that were linked off of Dex Screener and Dex Tools. So there's lots of stuff out there. What I've done in precaution, to be honest, with all my browsers is I have all my browsers set so that anything that tries to download, you need to approve. So first and foremost, just on the basic, just surface level of things, if something's triggering to go to my machine through any of my browsers, it is going to ask me. So I will have the option before even letting it on the machine. So, but just be careful.
That's not the default. You're doing something wrong.
Well, the thing is, that's not the default for a lot of people's machines. And usually what happens is somebody will install a browser, and then the first thing they go to download, they'll just click quick, like, okay. And it's really the setting to just automatically download, like things that, you click to download to automatically approve it. The installing thing is a whole nother one, but you just got to be careful out there. I mean, look this is the time where markets, hopefully start heating up. There's a lot of attention that brings out a lot more people trying to scam. There's a lot of, people will be targeted, and you can see even some of the people who are in the space that take some of the biggest precautions they can fall victim to some of the basic things. And then there's also complex ones. You really gotta be careful out there.
I am a big proponent of victim blaming. I think it's Tactical's fault.
Well,
Okay.
the thing is that he left. That's funny. He actually left.
Yeah, no, he has to
he has to go because he's got to get set up, and we'll go for a few more minutes here before we wrap things up. But I think that Tacticals and Jake's were both tied to the same exact, like, I'll call it, I don't know, scam, exploit, whatever, tied to the same, like, fake company possibly that was trying to meet with them to do business. I don't know. You have to go through the tweets or the threads there, but just got to be careful and just stay, keep your guard up. It's always better to be a little bit paranoid in this world right now. But when we're talking about wallets and adoptions, this is also something that prevents greater adoption, because while you got to just take yourself, if this is what you do every day and you feel like your way around DeFi, way around the space a bit. Now jump out of your shoes and maybe jump into your parents or your aunt or your great aunt or just some friend that you might know that's not necessarily computer literate.
Have you seen that Jason Statham movie? What was it? Beekeeper?
I don't know. I don't think so.
So I know this is going to sound crazy. It's basically a Web3 movie with Jason Statham where someone that he finds near and dear to him, they get taken over on a scam where they call her up. She thinks she needs to fix something with her banking info. And it just sadly goes downhill from there for her. And then it literally in part of the movie, one of the guys, he's literally like begging for his life at that point. And he's like, I'll give you some NFTs. I'll give you all my crypto. And I'm like, man, like this is like that felt disgusting and scummy in like so many ways. And I was like, is that what people think about me? Like I don't ever want to be associated with that. And at the same time, it also was like, it was a pretty good point of view of showcasing that, yeah, there are older people out there that are totally getting taken advantage of by companies that you think are supposed to be helping. And then it's
someone I know messaged me something about, they're like, I bought some stock or I don't know, some whatever. And it was through like an agency that dealt with it. And then it was like a week or two later, I'm getting this message saying, trying to transfer this to, where I hold most of my stuff, right? Like just trying to be vague here without saying what exactly it is. But I mean, it's just stock stuff, right? And then it's like, well, what's the account number over there? I was like panic calls by this person to like 10 different numbers to go through stuff. And I'm like, oh, don't even tell me you just got scammed where, you put all this money and transferred it over, because it wasn't like a traditional way of doing it. Luckily, finally got through, got some info, got the stuff, got it transferred. and it wasn't technically a scam, but it was. I don't want to rule it out that it wasn't a scam, because I feel like there's enough calls that went through and enough stuff that was done that's like, okay,
Your
this
sketch was
yeah, like
sus now?
this transaction could go through. We'll let this one go through. They asked too many questions, type of thing. But I'm like, I had said to the person, I go, look, I'm not claiming to be the smartest by far of any of this stuff, but I'm paranoid about crypto, about stocks, about sending money, about wiring money, even people that I've sold multiple times that I know. I'm like, I always am like with them, like, last four of your numbers still this, even though it pulls up their name. Like, it's better safe than sorry. The extra, the little extra. So yeah, I'm like, just call me and ask, and I'll at least point you in the direction of where you should be researching to make sure that you're cool.
Fair enough, my man.
But hopefully we'll get to a better point, more seamless wallets, more seamless like things to make adoption easier. And, maybe it's going to come to just the continued thing that we use of quote unquote, like cards that are just, auto just moving your balance, and we're using crypto more as a way of quickly paying off balances and doing wire transfers and things like that, or using them towards like NFTs towards games or within games, and not necessarily that everybody at their store is going to have a QR code that you scan to pay them, or something. I think there's going to have to be a big jump in technology, or even the thought process of the way we do like a POS, like a point of sale.
Oh yeah.
To get there. And just because of the way big banks run things, I feel like as big money gets in this, it's almost going to be like, I'm waiting for one of these big banks to really fully accept blockchain and crypto and become like that franchise bank
chain.
Like a Bank of America that's just like, hey, guess what? Like, yeah, you could deal with cash and all that other stuff, but here's our list of assets, and like just open up like a whole different world where like the Bank of America becomes like an exchange / a place where you could wire your money out for
That's literally the stuff that I've been waiting for it to just, instead of it being,
they got to find a way that they make money off of it.
That takes over. It's more like a bank becomes something else.
They develop something else. But the thing is, in order to float the cost of all those branches and all those staff, it's like the insurance model where you have Geico and some of these insurance ones.
Dude, just
where
have
when you
TGE.
God, it's like the bank's doing a cash grab. I mean,
well, they're doing it with countries.
No, they are. I mean, maybe the other. No, you know what? Maybe the other way is, look, self-custody. Wait, self-custody, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of money and something happens and you lose it. People went up in arms about the ledger service in case they get hacked and all that. What if the banks like jump to the next thing is that they go full crypto, but the way they retain some of their money or revenue to support their structure is by insuring your accounts under certain conditions, like you have to have 2FA or this, that, the other. Maybe there's some sort of things, or whitelisting wallets, and then they insure your accounts just like, what is it, FDIC or whatever, up to 250. Maybe there's some sort of other thing. So if you tie your account to your bank and get other services or dApps or whatever, that there's some sort of insurance. I don't know. I'm just spitballing and just talking crazy nonsense, but
this is
yeah, you'd have to KYC. Well, I feel that it's probably almost going to be a requirement in the future for anything that we're going to be doing. The more and more it becomes more socially acceptable and done, we might have networks that are fully decentralized, but that doesn't mean that in order to do business or take your money out on ramp, off ramp, buy services or anything like that, that you wouldn't need to KYC. I mean, but the thing is spitballing and random conversations like this, and everyone out there, feel free to comment and let us know too some of your thoughts, because that's what leads to really the next project. From you being somebody who's there just trying to make a quick buck and maybe extract value, to I have an idea, some other people have some ideas, and you get something rolling. Next thing you know, you're building that multi-sig, the next, that next wallet, or you're building that next exchange.
I'm already thinking about one of my old ideas that I had whenever NFTs were really popular, and how much I feel like it could genuinely be successful. It's just, you only need $1 million to make it happen. So
yeah, and let's just hope that at least if we see projects come up the rest of this cycle, that they're not just crowd funding their project to that, and that they got the things in place. We saw how that went in from last cycle into this cycle, all hopefuls on lots of NFT projects and different things and mining projects that all sort of went bust.
I will happily tell you, right before we started this live, Action and I were in a genuinely amazing call with a real product. With a real product that's already made. It's not an MVP. It's not some like, oh my God, when are you guys going to be done with this kind of thing? It's like, oh no, we're done. What other features would you like added to it? And we'll make it better. See,
that's
for
rare
you.
because you have to have a team, and you have to have funding and capital and develop something.
He doesn't even have crazy funding behind him, but he does have the right kind of devs behind him. And these developers
to make a product and then bring it to blockchain in the market and then go out is the way to do it if you can, as opposed to just trying to have an idea, convince people, or put out like what I just call crowdfunding it to get a whole bunch of money. And usually these people who don't have any experience are blowing 50% the money on the wrong stuff, or overpaying, or the wrong ways, and then they're tapped and they have no way of bringing in any cash flow.
You're not wrong.
Well, we are actually coming up on the hour, and we do got to cut this short a couple minutes because there is going to be a live stream right after this with Action and Hedera, right?
Indeed. Hedera, Hashpack, and more. It's going to be your hash graph and more. And one of my favorite people from the Hedera team, I won't lie, you're going to see Patches. Patches is awesome. Ty, he's just an amazing guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing that live stream.
Yes, and I as well. So, man, it's only me and you. So, actually rugging you or you rugging me.
We have a truce.
We have a truce here that we won't rug. We'll do a proper exit, because this would be where someone would try to get Action to talk, and we would rug him. But no, thank you everyone for your support, for tuning in. Remember, for everyone watching on X, to make sure you are commenting, reposting, subscribing to Genzio's channel there, to the account, as well as we have streams on Action's YouTube, mine, which is going on today. I see a bunch of you actually in YouTube there chatting and supporting, and I really appreciate that. Toki will be having his, on Friday, right?
Yes.
I think we're going to be on Action's tomorrow. If Action doesn't show up, then it'll be on Toki's, and that's all right. It's all right if Action doesn't show up. We know he likes to leave early, and this is the part where he said we're going to talk crap and stuff, and we're going to do that. Yeah. No, but thank you all for joining us, and we're going to catch you tomorrow, same time, same place, and have a good one.
Over now, y'all.
Hey, what's up?
But it's not something Genzio is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a house.
We do not understand.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Rebecca's Genzio Media House.
Oswald, thanks so much for joining us today.